I am joined right now by Melina, who you know from her career in WWE, NWA, and now she's getting a chance to make her Impact Wrestling in-ring debut. We're going to talk about that match, her match at NWA Empowerrr, and a bunch of other stuff. But first, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate you taking the time. As I mentioned, your Impact Wrestling debut, you appeared a few weeks ago, but now you just made your in-ring debut. You've done almost everything in the wrestling business. What's it like still having a first to check off of your list like this?
It's a beautiful thing, you know. I think when you do it all at once, it's a great achievement, of course. Like anything, I always think that anybody who gets inside the ring, it's huge, and I have a great appreciation for it. But if I were to have done this in my first few years of wrestling, it would, I don't know, it would just be like sad, you know. It would break my heart because what do I do next? What's going to happen because I've done it all. But I kind of felt that way at first, you know, first couple of years. And now to have these experiences, oh my goodness, I'm grateful, so grateful, especially to be able to have the opportunity to be able to have these first and to join a promotion like Impact.
Yeah, and you know, women's wrestling's grown a lot since you started, and you know your perspective might change. I would, I'm sure if you go back, there's some other stuff that's maybe unfavorable, or you know, you look at it in a different light. But generally, in hindsight, it seems like it's you've always been presented as a strong character, whether you were a manager or a wrestler. You know, a very positive light. And you know, how do you look back on how the business has changed? Because it seems like you know you were in a really good position to succeed. You're still in one. You're a veteran now, and now you can you know play the role of almost like flipping the script, where when you started you were working with some of the established names, and now you get a chance to give back. So how has your perspective changed?
Oh, it's the same. Like I guess people always ask me if like coming back now, there's more opportunities. There's things that I've never done before back in those days. But in the day where I first started, I appreciate those days, and it's just the same as it is now. Every moment of wrestling, no matter with restrictions, without restrictions, the talent back then, although different, still incredible, and the talent now, it, to me, I am grateful for both versions of the opportunity, both sides. So it's I'm very grateful to be able to not only be the person that I am in these scenarios, but for people to believe in me, to put me in the in the positions such as like back in the day it was with Eminem, and then with the championship runs I was able to have. It wasn't something that people just gave to me. It was something that I had an ability where they trusted me to be able to carry those moments in time. They gave me those opportunities because I did deserve it. I may not have been the best, but there's something within me that people believed in. And to still have that ability now, I'm very grateful to have that kind of talent or it factor, whatever you want to call it, to be able to do that then and now. I'm grateful for the people who believe in me, and I'm grateful for whatever it is inside me that people see within me, that ability. So I'm just wrestling something that I didn't think I was ever able to do in my career. Like, some people wake up and think this is something I know without question I can do, and they just know it without any doubt. And for me, it was something that I always wanted to do, but it was like, really, can I? Until one moment in time, I thought, I don't care if I do or don't. This is something I want to do. And even though people told me I couldn't do it, it's something I wanted to try, to give all my heart until I was able to see if I could, because I had to know for myself. And I'm glad I didn't stop. I'm glad continued on throughout all these years, from when it was the beginning of my career to now. I'm glad I kept going, because I would not know that I am capable of these opportunities unless I did. So I'm just nothing but grateful.
And you got a chance to face off with Brandy Lauren in your Impact Wrestling debut match. Before we get to NWA Empowerrr, you actually have a match at Impact's Emergence. Fans can check it out. It's Friday, August 20th. You're going to be in tag team action against Deonna Purrazzo, your Empowerrr opponent, and Matthew Raywalt. It's a mixed tag match. I think when this thing started, people just thought, okay, here's Deonna's opponent at Empowerrr. It seems like it's starting to get a little personal. What are your thoughts on how this feud has evolved from, just being announced as a surprise opponent to what, it seems like it's getting personal now?
Actually, it's a kick in the pants that I needed. I mean, after all these years of seeing things, like, I was telling some of the girls, I said, you know what? People can say, oh, you're old, you're fat, you're this, you're that. These are things that I've heard since the beginning of time, before I was even in wrestling, before I was even, put on weight, before I was even older. People say things and I'm unaffected. It's like, I block it all out. People's words I do not get offended easily. That doesn't bother me. And I think because of that, I needed it to be personal. I needed it to be personal to be able to put in everything that I have coming forward, because I need more fire. I know before I could go ahead and start fighting, because I know it's within my heart to do the best that I can, because I want, it was personal for me before because of my age, how people, I feel like, sometimes do not respect the fact of the things that I've done in the past, because it's hard work to be the first to lay down the tracks, and I know the people before me, they didn't have the respect that they deserved. And when I talk to them, and I realize I'm going through the same thing that they went through, except they deserve more credit than I do. And I know that in my heart that I have to give it all because of them, as well as myself and my friends, and then my family. But then, Deonna just gives in a little bit more. And I'm like, you know what? I needed that. I needed you to give me more, so then I could bring the pain. Just bring the pain. Before it was just about winning, but now it's more personal. The things, it's about wrestling and respecting the people who paved the way for you, is like, such as Mickey. The thing she said to Mickey too. It's all these little bits and pieces that makes me want to, I just got to teach her a lesson that much more.
I will mention, I spoke with Deonna last week, and she said that she knows some things about your medical history. She knows that you have some knee problems, so it seems like she's not afraid to go there if she needs to. She's making it more than personal. But on a related note, I did want to ask about that. You've addressed it before. You're dealing with a knee injury, an ACL injury. How's that holding up in the ring? I know you've had a few matches since you made that statement earlier this year. How are things going with you from that perspective? Like, how's it holding up? Are you trying to work a different way or favor it at all?
So far, it's holding up well. I'm really thankful. It feels the same. That's the crazy part. But then at the same time, I know that it could feel the same, and who knows what could happen. One wrong turn. And I know the risks. I know the risks involved. But yes, I have to wrestle a different way. I have to be more aware. But then at the same time, knowing what's at risk. And in my mind, that's why I keep thinking, she made a comment at one point saying that I know that it could be one of my last matches for a while. It could be a possibility. She thinks it's because she's going to be the one to put me down. No. It's not her, the one that's going to put me down if anything were to happen. If something happens to me, to my knee, it's not because of her. It's because of all the matches and wrestling that I've been through, that I've put my body through. It's time. It's me and the love for wrestling that I keep going into the ring. It's just wear and tear. It's not anybody specific that took me out. It's all the many, many matches that I've, endured and conquered that would possibly take me out, but it wouldn't be just her. And the thing is I could potentially, potentially something could happen, but you know what? Potentially not. So I've been in matches with injuries, and I've still come out great the other end. I've still overcome. So I'm not scared of that. I still have the ability to win because of my perseverance. That's something that's different than anybody else. Some people see defeat and they give up. Nah, not me. Not me. I just get angrier and it makes me want to win that much more.
We just talked about the Emergence match, and then you have 8 days later, or as it'll air 8 days later, NWA Empowerrr, such a huge event for so many different reasons. But going back to what we talked about earlier about your perspective and how it's changed, like what does that event specifically mean to you? Not only just getting a chance to have a match with an opponent like Deonna Purrazzo and vice versa, her getting a shot at an opponent like yourself, but what does the event itself mean? Like from how you came into the business to just having that opportunity?
Well, Empowerrr is incredible because, I've never been a part of an all women's pay-per-view. This is such an incredible first for me. That's the first for me. And, going after the Knockouts title is a first for me. And it's huge. It's huge. This everything, the collaboration of so many promotions all coming together, all the women of from around the world coming together. That's huge. That's something that I never thought that I would ever see. And the women before me probably never thought they were able to see either. I mean, at one point, women's wrestling was scarce, that they kind of, you didn't see it for a while, let alone to have an all women's pay-per-view. This is beautiful to me, and to be able to be a part of it, I'm so thankful for that. And I hope that so many women around the world, wrestler or not, can appreciate that how beautiful this is. And just everybody, all fans of women's wrestling, to be able to support it too. It's an incredible thing to see. And when it comes to having a match with Deonna, I want her to know that me wrestling with her, it's an honor to be able to have a match with somebody that is in high regards in this sport, because she deserves it. She worked her butt off for it. And I guarantee you it'd be a different matter if it was me in my prime when it comes to the same age. It'd be a different scenario. I wouldn't even have to blink. So I'm gonna be tested in this right now. But then at the same time, I have all the confidence in the world that I could be able to hang with her and I could be able to shut her down. That's all I'm thinking about. That's all I want to do. And I'm grateful for Empowerrr. I'm grateful for NWA and IMPACT for giving me this opportunity, because this is something I never got a chance to do. And now I'm going to be able to do it. And I thank you guys for that.
Speaking about all of your accomplishments in the wrestling business and possibly the next one that could come with a title win, is there a match or moment in your career that you would maybe point to and say that best represents your work to this point, or one that you just look back fondly on, or maybe you just want to recommend one that, you would say, hey, if you want to see what I represent in the ring, this is one that I would go watch ahead of Emergence or Empowerrr?
Oh, when it comes to matches, it's always hard to pinpoint because, I love them all. I'm always going to say the one with myself and Mickie James, because I just love, she's, to me, she is the yin to my yang. But when it comes to the match between me and Beth Phoenix for the I Quit match, that one and the one to follow, those two are the ones that I hold dear, because, she put me through hell. I quit. She bent me in half and I quit. But that didn't mean, to me, that means nothing. She did what she did. She beat me fair and square. But that didn't mean I was going to be down forever. So in the next moment I beat her for the title. Well, every time you think that there's something that is going to stop you from winning, from overcoming, don't ever take that for an answer. You want something, you go for it with all your heart. Don't let anything stop you. Now, when it comes to a championship or something to prove, I have no doubt in my heart that I'm going to keep on going until I achieve what I set out to do.
The I Quit match was Extreme Rules. I believe it was One Night Stand. And then
yes, it was.
If anybody wanted to check that one out, I usually do a watch list feature. That's why I asked. But in the meantime,
oh, you do? That's great.
Yeah, it's always fun to see what picks you have, or just to kind of go back and see the full length matches while they're out there. But if anybody wants to check that out, that's One Night Stand 2008. You can catch Melina on Impact Wrestling's Emergence Friday, August 20th, and then NWA Empowerrr Saturday, August 28th in St. Louis. Thank you very much for your time today.
Oh, thank you for having me on.